Hey there, and welcome to Beyond the Brawl. My name is Drew, and I'll be your host for this semi-weekly podcast about all things tabletop gaming. As the name indicates, this will be an extension of a brawl. In this case, the brawl or brawls are the Akron Brew Brawl, gaming events that we run at a place called Missing Falls Brewery in Akron, Ohio, hence the name, Akron Brew Brawl. The ABB is a place where gaming, great food, tremendous craft beer, and all things nerdum intersect with each other in a great weekend of gaming. And this podcast aims to shine light on all of those things. In each episode, we'll discuss what's going on in the events that we're hosting, the events that we're playing in, what we've been eating, what we've been cooking, what we've been making, what we've been drinking. And most importantly, what games are we really getting excited about, right? So what lists are we playing? What new games are out that we're excited about? Things of that nature. We'll also do interviews, conduct interviews with folks in the gaming community about new games, about food, food prep, what's the best food to take with you to, a game night or to play a gaming weekend or to take to a convention, whatever that is. What beer pairs with what foods pair with what games, and everything in between. So we hope that you'll join us as we go down this road, taking a look at the things that we all love doing, the things that keep us sane. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back. And welcome back. This segment is called Too Many Beards. This is going to be our weekly series where we chat with up to four men with beards of various degrees of grandeur. I'm joined tonight by Mr. Dunbar. And just so you know, the Too Many Beards names comes from the name of our text group that we've had for several years, where the four of us, myself, you, Tyler, Josh, where we talk about gaming, share memes, and just other nonsensical stupidity. And we figured we would sort of like bring that to life and share it in podcast form. So thanks for hopping on. I see that we can see the background of your room, which is neat and organized. Mine is poured out because this is one of my many piles of. This is the pile of shame on the second floor of my house. I also have one on the first floor, and then the basement is filled. So it'll be nothing but blurry stuff. So.
Well, as long as it hasn't gone to like northeast corner of the upper floor and south, as long as you don't start having wings of the floors, it's all good.
Oh, that's a bad thing. Okay. It's wings as in my wife closes doors when people come over, and she's like, no, that's one of his game rooms. And they get confused and they leave, which is great because I don't like visitors. But,
Drew, I thought you said this was a 5-bedroom house. Why have I only ever seen the living room?
Bathrooms. It's so many piles of shame. It's ridiculous. But I guess I've been gaming for 30 some years, and stuff piles up, and I feel like I'm selling stuff all the time. Anyway, nonsense. So why don't we introduce ourselves? I've introduced myself a little bit with the introduction. So tell me a little bit about you. So let's talk about how you know me. So how did we meet, and why did this make sense?
Absolutely. So I want to say it was fall of 2014, most likely, is when I moved to Ohio. Because I moved in like September. So I probably made it to JC around like November, December of 2014. I was active duty military at the time. And, I literally just moved across the country. I was in Hawaii before that. So it was quite the change. They sound similar.
Same letters, yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. So I think I stumbled into JAC. I think it was actually a Warhammer day. I want to say it's like a 40K tournament day sort of a thing, which is how I found it, because I was kind of like, I play Warhammer, or had it in the past.
Right.
And I think I stumbled in there, and through just being in the shop, I think it came to light of you, and same way Tyler, Josh, some of my best friends I have in the world all came via the game shop.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works, right? I mean, similar stories with Tyler and Josh as well, and hopefully we'll get to meet them here soon. But being grown-ups, it makes it hard to actually all be in the same place at the same time, even if it's virtual. But yeah, I mean, Tyler just walked in the shop, and I don't even remember Josh. And again, Josh is 6'74", and like, how do I forget meeting that guy? But yeah, no, it's really cool. Like and I think the thing that I love about the Too Many Beards text thread is it allows me to keep up with people who become incredibly important in my life because of gaming. So the gaming has sort of opened that door to meet people that I otherwise wouldn't have. I mean, let's face it. You were a military recruiter. Tyler's a welder. Josh has a job. I don't know what Josh does, but it's something with business.
I've always wondered.
There's Germans involved.
Yeah, and big saw blades.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm a teacher, so I don't meet adult human beings. So it's the game community is really cool for me because it does allow me to meet people. And make it's really difficult to make friends later in life, and I'm half a century old, and so it's kind of a cool way to meet people. So I was very fortunate to meet you guys. The text thread has been huge, and we're going to talk about mental health at some point, but like just keeping me sane through all kinds of periods in my life, and you guys are awesome, and it's I don't want to embarrass anyone, but it's a very loving demonstration of what male friendship can look like as adults, right? Like, I mean, you guys keep
it honestly should look like.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Between John Wayne and Tolkien, I would prefer, Aragorn's form of manliness compared to, John Wayne and the Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and this cowboy western. But so that's great. So I'm looking forward to doing this chat on a weekly basis, not just because I want to share this with other people, but getting to catch up with you guys on a more regular basis will be great too. So, but why don't we get into let's talk about some gaming, right? I mean, I guess that's why
absolutely
our dozens of listeners might be here for. So I think the idea is that we're going to have like 5 big questions that we want to talk to all guests. So we probably should answer those questions for ourselves, right? And that first question is
absolutely,
how did you get into gaming? So let's start there. You said you're 37 years old?
Yes, sir. 37.
You don't look a day over 60.
With more salt than I know how to do with.
I'm smart enough to trim mine down so it doesn't look as I don't know.
Yeah.
So how did you get into gaming? Like, where did this start for you?
So, we kind of talked about these questions and all that, and I really been thinking about it today. And I started the more I tried to dig into what was my start, where did I go? The deeper it went, all the way back to where I remember being very young, 5, 6, 7 years old, and getting that for Christmas, that kit that was 41 games in one. I had Chinese checkers, chess, a pack of cards, Mancala, and it was all in a little wooden fold box.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, so I started thinking about man, I used to get those.
Wow. And
I would play those games, and I would play card games with my grandma and great grandma, and I played Rummy and all this stuff. But I remember I would always get that big box, and there was always games I'd never heard of, and probably still to this day don't have any idea what it is.
Right.
But it came with components, and I remember I started making my own little games.
Okay.
And from that, I kind of, we would play Monopoly, Life, kind of the big games that most people know.
Right.
It would do that. And it was always fascinating. And then 4th grade happened.
Uh-huh.
And when I went to, I changed schools, elementary schools, between 3rd and 4th grade. And when I went to 4th grade, I met
Indiana,
some
right?
good friends I still have. Yes. Yep. Grew up in small town Indiana. Williamsport, Indiana is the town I claim, but up until that point, I was in an even smaller town of 600 people.
Good.
Sorry
to interrupt. Go on.
Yeah, so super tiny. No, you're fine. So I met my buddy John, and he had an older brother, and his older brother played Warhammer 40K, and this would have been 2nd edition, around 96, 98, somewhere in that range. And I was like, whoa, what is this? It's complicated chess, but there's army men. I was, how old are you in 4th grade? 10?
Something like that.
Somewhere around there.
I was 13. But
So those 3 kindergartens will catch up to you. So, we started. So I started looking at that Warhammer, and I remember it was 2nd edition that they were playing. And then I went finally, it was my birthday or Christmas, or I saved up some, my birthday's in January. So a lot of time when I wanted the Nintendo, I'd just be I don't want Christmas and a birthday. Just give me for Christmas. I'd ask for a bigger gift for one. And I was I want to play Warhammer. So I went to the game shop and I bought at the time, a thing of Sisters of Battle. That was my first ever army, all pewter.
Yeah, well,
Sisters of
battles
Army.
were still the official ones up until last year, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they never had rules until this edition or something like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So I started going to the game shop whenever, I'd get at the time, you would get the unit, but if you wanted the sergeant or whatever, or you wanted the special weapon, it was its own blister. So yeah, you're going to the game shop, you're buying blisters. And then that's when I started noticing other games, Catan and all these other games that were kind of, these indie board games that you never heard of.
Right.
And games like Magic the Gathering and all that. I was kind of into, and then I started getting into Pokemon because 6th grade was 99 when Pokemon kind of hit. So that was kind of my next step. But I didn't play that one as much. So it was more kind of I collected the mock cards.
Right.
But I did play the original Star Wars card game.
I remember that one.
By Decipher, CCG. And then from there, that just kept me, though Warhammer and Star Wars kept me going back to the game shop, and it just kind of grew into this forever, 27 years later now, still playing games.
Right. That's crazy, man. That's great. Yeah, mine's pretty similar. Like I started playing Dungeons and Dragons when I was 5. I don't know how it happened, but like we wanted to play it. We saw we used to go to this hobby store. It's called the Hobby Store. It was in the local mall. We walked in. I think my brother and I saw it. My brother's 2 years older than I am. And we saw it. We're like, oh, this is really cool. We bought it. My mom bought it for us. We ended up playing it. Had no idea. We were cheating. We were just kind of making up rules. I had an elf. My obsession with playing started when I was 5. Yeah, his name was Kron, and he had a Millennium Falcon. So that was cool. So that was like 1980, right? So we're playing D&D, and even though even though we were playing it during the times when the news was saying it's satanic and all this nonsense, and my mom was like, well, my kids are reading, they're doing math, right? They're learning to interact with each other, and later on in life, like I know they're at home on a Friday night because God knows no girls are going to want to talk to them. They're not going to parties. It was just like she loved the hobby because it was creative, and so I thank my mom for that. Guys, ended up played D&D. A lot like your 4th grade. Mine was 6th grade, 5th grade, where I met my lifelong friend Chris Roberts, who owns JAC Games. And he had an older brother, same age as my older brother. The 4 of us would play D&D. We hung out, and how we got into mini war gaming is we were playing these campaigns where our characters, would get 20th level, and we just got tired of just murdering things. We're like, well, what would it look like if we led armies? And then we were at the hobby store, and we're like, oh, Warhammer, what the heck is this? So, we picked up the 2nd edition Orange book. Is probably out before you were born. But, it was like, oh, here's how you play giant fantasy battles. We're like, okay, this is awesome.
So that was original Warhammer or Warhammer Fantasy or the old world as they call it now. It was square-based, rank and file.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, this predates 40K existing. 40K was probably in Rogue Trader at that point. But anyway, so we started doing that. And from there, it sort of grew into Warhammer. Then we, then Chris's brother Judd and I all started painting models. We're like, oh, we're going to sell some models. And we're like, well, it'll be cheaper to get these at wholesale. So screw it. Let's open a game store. So that's how JAC Games came about. That then that opened my eyes to all kinds of new games because it wasn't just Warhammer anymore. It's like, oh, here's War Machine and here's this game and that game. So I've sort of just my gamer ADD sort of developed from there, just kind of bouncing around. But yeah, I mean, I started gaming when I was 5. It was D&D forever. Got into Warhammer.
Awesome.
Played like Axis and Allies, and just if you name a cool board game, we were probably playing it. So, but yeah, it was a great journey. And then opening the game store was this great boon for just meeting other cool people and not just playing in one of our parents' basement. So, and that's where the 4 of us met, and that's pretty awesome. So
no, it's super awesome.
Yeah. So
that's
just getting into gaming, man, it's neat, and like that encouragement, that I got from my parents, to do something. It's like, okay, yeah, you don't just have to play video games, which I love to do. You don't have to just play sports. Here's this other weird thing that they've never understood. My parents, up to the day they died, had no understanding what this stuff was. And my dad
Yep.
was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, painting army men." He's like, "Oh, you're just painting little army guys?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, whatever, carry on." Keeps you off the street, I suppose, and out of the gutters. But so yeah, it's been a pretty cool journey. So we talked about like the beginning of the journey. So what keeps you coming back to gaming? What is it about gaming? Because like me, I've had a million hobbies that I've started and quit. Maybe like podcasting, who knows? But war gaming is the thing that I've always come back to. I've always come back to gaming. What is it that brings you back?
No, same. I think wargaming's always kind of been a central theme for me. I love board games and I love card games, and I do almost everything. I do too many things, especially if you ask Autumn or my accountant. I do way too much. But I think there's two answers for this question. One's the serious, answer, and we kind of briefly talked about it. It's the friends I've made. I joined the military. I was 19. I spent 7 months after graduating high school before I joined the military. I'm now 37, so a little over half my life now. Half my life has been in adulthood. It was a way for me to like introduce myself to a new area. First, I was in Connecticut. From Connecticut, I went to Virginia. From Virginia, Georgia. From Georgia, Florida. Florida, Hawaii. Hawaii, Ohio. Ohio, back to Indiana, and now in Wisconsin. So I've lived in 8. I'm only counting places that I've lived for more than 2 years at that point. Like I give you several other trainings. I was there for 6 months, and I would pop into a game shop and just kind of have somewhat of a friend, but so the biggest and realest answer is the friends you make along the way. Like I said, I've got amazing friends. Obviously you, Tyler, Jarsh, and then I got Nick. Me and Chris. Well, he'll still message me every once in a while about stuff, and then like when I go to a convention, like I just got my hotel for Adepticon. We've briefly been talking about it. I have friends that I only see once a year for these 4 days at Adepticon, but we're great friends while we're there. And this past year, another friend, Nick, one of my only Adepticon only friends, left with literally this shirt that was on my back. He wore out of the place. So just stupid little fun friends that I make along the way. But I'd say the more like immediate thing is I'm a tinker. I always like to do things. I've always got something new I want to try or do. And I think, call it ADHD, call it just being an entrepreneur mindset, whatever you want to call it. And I think gaming is such a broad subject, but also can be so focused that it really keeps my attention. I like video games, but I can also play a video game for an hour, set it down, and walk away. But then I'll want to go to a 5-day gaming convention, and I'll wish I was back 2 days later after I leave. Right. So I think it just scratches the right spot on my brain. It's enough critical thinking and fun that it just really works for me.
For sure. Yeah, I think you touched on something kind of neat, because it's like video games. I don't really play video games anymore, mostly because I would probably lose my job. Because when I play them, I just sort of obsess over them, and I just sit there and click buttons. I don't really get into them. I don't know, the last D&D game that came out, the new Baldur's Gate. I'm like, oh, this is cool, but I wasn't reading the story. I just sort of like clicked through there mindlessly, like hoping to get to the
end. I want to beat it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because I'm a competitive person, right? Like I grew up playing sports. I always wanted to compete. I always wanted to win, and I think that's what I like about Wargame. D&D was great because it told me you don't always have to win, right? Like it's writing a story and a narrative and hanging out. That's great. But the wargaming allows me to sort of scratch that competitive itch that I have, even though I suck at war games now because I don't play them enough. I'm always running events. But you get to scratch that itch, which is really cool. And the point is, there's all kinds of stuff with the gaming, right? Between the hobby aspect, the building stuff, the painting. Like I hate painting, but I love building models.
Same.
There's playing the games like narratively, playing them competitively, writing lore, doing like there's all kinds of things. They can tap into just about anything for anyone. And it's such an interesting thing. Like you meet someone who's never heard of this, and you're like, well, what do you do for fun? And you explain it. They're like, I've never heard of that. And you're like, well, it's $1 billion industry. Right. And then, but there is something for everyone. And almost anyone who gets involved is like, oh, here's at least the one thing that I like to do. And I think that's really, really cool. And so that's the stuff that brings me back And I think, I think what you described, that idea of sort of like bouncing around from thing to thing, Like today, I've painted some models, I've built some objectives, I wrote some rules for a narrative campaign that I'm going to run. I responded to emails about the next Brew Brawl we're going to be running. It's always something to sort of immerse yourself in, which I think is really great. You don't get that with a lot of hobbies, right? So if I play basketball, if I go pick up basketball, I put my shoes on, I show up, I play basketball, I go home, right? That's the thing. So I think that's really neat. The idea that there's so much that brings you back, but again, it is the friends and it's the socialization and things like that I think are really cool about it. If I played video games, I would just sit in my house and play video games. I wouldn't meet people. So wargaming forces me to get out of the house and go sit and face another human being, and I think that makes me a more empathetic and kinder person. Because sitting behind a screen all day, you can kind of lose some of that. So yeah, I think that's really cool stuff.
Absolutely. And, you kind of brought up like I would never go out. You hear every once in a while about those like, oh, they've been playing Xbox for 20 years together and they finally met, You hear about that occasionally.
Right.
I have friends that live in Sweden that I see at Gen Con once a year. And it's no more than a, hey, how are you? We we kind of know each other. I stand out in a crowd. I'm a 6'3" white dude covered in tattoos with dreadlocks. Right. So they recognize me, But I have so many friends. Like I said, we go to cons, me, you, the other guys. I go to other things, and it's constant. So when I hear about these, like, oh, they played video games together for 20 years and they finally met, I'm like, yeah.
How sad is that? Like you've been playing for years and you haven't met. Where you get to see these people every single year, you're going to see them. And that's
in 2 weeks I'm driving to see you guys. Like I'm driving for 9 hours to come play 3 games and then turn around and come home. Like it's
we're gonna get you to play some more. We're gonna get you playing a few more events. But yeah, no, so that's the next Akron Brew Brawl, which is August 15th through 17th. If you're looking to play some games, come into beautiful Akron, Ohio, and jam with us. So, and we'll include those links down at the bottom. Links to the Discord, links to the website, all of that fun stuff. But yeah, I do like that, and I mean, I guess on that topic, you do stand out. I have the face, the voice of just every man. Like I'm every dude. Like I sort of blend in, but there are people that I sort of meet along the way, and you are way more social than I am. I talk to people for a living. I guess I feel like it's something I have to do. Where you seem to really enjoy it. Like new people often weird me out. So I get that, but it is cool. Like I'm starting to build communities of games that I really enjoy. Like Conquest, I'm playing right now. Like I've met tons of great people that are like those are people I'm looking forward to seeing. So that I think that's really cool, and it just brings you back, right? Like we me and Josh went out and played in a tournament in a barn a couple weeks ago, the Battle of the Barn.
Yeah.
It was sold to
they weren't lying, huh? They were.
They weren't. But in fairness, they didn't say it's a great like it's a barn. Like it's at a winery, so I'm like, oh, it's a winery. It's going to be one of those barns for like events. No, it's a barn where there's barn stuff happening. And it was hot, but it was great. Like everybody there was amazing. The games are so much fun. So we have this running Discord with like 20 of us now talking about setting up other events and meeting and all these other things. So
awesome.
Yeah, it's just great stuff, man. And it keeps me sane. Like I can't stress this enough. Like if I didn't have this stuff, I always need to be doing 5 different things at a time. And so usually gaming is at least 4 of them, which can be infuriating to my wife, but it's one of those things where it's like I'm either going to be doing this or doing something else that would be less beneficial to my life. So so it's good stuff. Yeah. So gaming's awesome. What do you wish you could change? Like what thing about gaming, a specific game, whatever it is? I don't want to poo-poo games. Like the older I get, the more I realize I'm less interested in talking about things I don't like. I'd rather talk about things I do like. But there's always things can be improved and tweaked. And you said you're a tinker.
Exactly.
I'm a tinker. We both created games and things of that nature. So what do you wish you could change about gaming in general?
So I think and again, it's, as you said, not really a complaint, just something I feel would benefit me. And I'm kind of on this twofold. I toss 2 things. They kind of go together. Is I wish that the intro was easier for new players. Because somebody like me and you, who we now have over 50 years combined experience in gaming, we could sit here and talk very deep about Warhammer or Conquest. And somebody new sitting on the outside, they're just going to be,
right.
What are you talking about? And I think both of us, because we've taught people new games, you've really spread Conquest in the your local area. I think we can. I just wish that there was like I don't know, an easier way. And I don't think there is one. I think it's just you got to find someone dedicated that's willing. I'm always like, I wonder how many people like were interested and watched one game, a battle rep online, and was like, that's so much, I'm never doing it again. Right. So maybe not necessarily intro, but like a way to spread, to be like, stick with it, I promise it, thing.
Because it's almost like, when your friend tells you like, hey, you got to watch this show, it's great. Season 1 sucks, but by the time you get to season 7, you're going to be hooked. I'm like, dude, I don't have 38 hours to invest in watching the show. Like, right away, I'm out of there. And I think you're right. I think it can be challenging. I think the way I look at it over the years, we've developed sort of gamer language, if that makes sense, where since we know how to play one game, it sort of translates to other games, even if they're completely different, right? Like right now, I'm loving Conquest. I'm loving Warcrow. They're very different games, but because I speak gamer, like it's easier for me to pick that one up. So there almost needs to be like here's the you're not going to play. Don't play Infinity, right? Don't start with Infinity. Don't start. Here's this. Here's this very simple game. Like one-page rules, right? Like one-page rules has one-page rules. Like here's how you play this game, and you start to learn the language, right? You're
exactly
able to sort of get into it, and I think you're right. I think it can be very daunting for new people.
No, I think you bring in like language was such a brilliant point to add to that, because it 100% is. Like if I'm teaching you right now, exactly as we are, whatever new game, I started doing Trench Crusade, which I know you've dabbled with and you played some, but let's say you've never played it before. But I can be like, no, you're always rolling 2 dice for a 7. Oh, kind of like War Machine Mark II. Yeah, exactly. Right. You have a set number. You're always rolling 2. Oh, perfect. Is it always a D6? It's always a D6. Cool. So it's the same game as War. If you're outside, you just heard 8 words you've never heard before. Maybe you've heard War and Hammer, but you is this some medieval? You guys dressing up like knights fighting? Like, what do you? Right. So I think you brought up that's a really good point. Is language everyone understood the language. And then, like I said, my other point is kind of the same as the timing of things. If I could magically, every time I want to play a game, my friends, their schedule opened up, that would be. And that's kind of my, obviously, as you brought up, we're adults. We have adult things. Right. But yeah, if I had a magic genie of gaming, it would be that gaming sessions always happened as scheduled.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I mean, just things come up. It's hard to get together. It's hard to leave the house. I don't like to leave there's times when I schedule games, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to go.
I'm the one who set this up. And
who did this to me? It's always me. But yeah, it is, because of the responsibilities of being alive, and it's, I yearn for those days where, my God, we would be like, me and my buddy Chris, we'd be at each other's house for 4 days in a row in the summer, and then we would take a shower and go to the other person's house for the next 3 or 4 days. That's what we would do all summer, right? And I don't want to wax poetic about getting older, but yeah, it is tough to find time to game with the people you want to. So a lot of times you're stuck gaming with people who are available when you play. I'm a teacher. Like, I have had nothing to do, very little to nothing scheduled for the better part of the last 2 months. But I'm like, okay, cool, I can get a lot of gaming in, but all my friends have real jobs. They're working,
and for me, it's the opposite of summertime is my busiest time. That's just when we travel to see family. We do this, that. The boys are out of school. Right. Obviously, my kids are 9 and 11. Yours are out of the house. Yeah. So that's our family time. And then winter, I'm like, I can take every weekend and go travel in the winter. But then you got baseball and you have your teaching and
no. And then then you make these great friends, and then like jerks, they all just move away from you, which makes it even harder to game. not that I'm pointing fingers or anything, but 2 out of 4 of us have decided to move away from the area.
That's true. That's
you've moved all around. I've lived in Ohio all of my life.
Right.
I live 5 miles from the place that I was born. Like 90% of the population, I'll die within 15 miles of the place.
Right.
And I'm fine with it. I love Ohio. It's a great place.
No, I love Ohio. Some of my best memories while I was in the Navy all came from Ohio.
Right. Yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think the time gets challenging, and I think going back to getting new people into the game, it's hard to get fresh blood. It's hard for people to sort of process this whole thing, just the understanding of games. But I think a lot of that comes from community, and I think that's taken me a long time to learn. Right, like there's times when I've been you walk into a store and you just get a weird vibe, and you're like, I don't want to be here. Or somebody runs a demo and they seem disinterested. I'm like, dude, I want to do this. This looks cool, but we'll talk about that at conventions and stuff down the road. But yeah, like a bad demo is going to ruin your interest. Or
always a game.
Somebody not being willing to demo again. It's so for new people, that onboarding process. I wish there was an easier way. I know that game companies have wrestled with it forever. And to varying degrees of success. But for me, I've just, at this point in my life, I've decided more people playing games is good. So I'll demo, I'll let you kick the crap out of me, and then we'll go slow and we'll just explain everything. And you ask all the questions you want at the end of it. Hopefully you dig it and you become part of the crew. And if not, then, go do your thing. So, yeah. But overall, I mean, it's hard to find things to complain. It's easy to find things to complain about, but I don't want to, right? It's something I enjoy. It gets me out of the house and things like that. So yeah, so gaming is great. So gaming is also the hobby part, the part that I don't love. I love playing games. Playing games make me happy. So let's talk about what's on our hobby tables right now, because mine is filled with projects that will never be done. So what do you work on?
So my hobby table's right behind me. I actually organized it today. Went through and I got a box sitting next to me of stuff that's going to go to the basement, my normal gaming area, or my normal storage game. That I'm just saying, I'm not going to finish these, or they just got bumped to the bottom. Yeah. So my actual number one priority right now is the Brew Brawl, and I've just got a bit of touch-up paint that I want to do. I've got one model that needs a little bit of work, and then just almost all models. I can go a little bit more of this, a little more glow around the eyes. Yeah. That's mostly touch-up stuff. But that's probably going to be my priority over the next week. Is really just getting Brew Brawl. I'm coming for that best painted. So that's.
I mean, that's what the one thing we love about Brew Brawl. Like if you're interested in playing, there is no painting requirement. You are not required to paint your models. But if you do, we reward people who paint. So we'll do competitions for best painted. We'll do raffles for people who just paint their models, right? Like, because I suck at painting, but to win some sort of raffle just because you put the time in, I think that's really cool to reward people who do the hobby.
Absolutely.
But aren't, I'm not going to win any golden demons. I'm not going to win. Well, I did win a best painted award, but that's a different story.
That's true.
For a different day, but we do like to reward people who do splash some paint on their models, and I'm excited for you to come down, because this is the first one you've been down to, right?
It's yep, absolutely. The last 2 or 3, it just every time it always landed on like the one weekend I have something, and you're like, oh, we're gonna do it right here, and obviously you're not doing that on purpose, but it feels like it.
We were doing it. We were getting your schedule from your wife, and making sure you couldn't make it. And we just,
she was probably paying you to like, he can't come this weekend. Would you please do it then?
It's been very lucrative. So we screwed this one up, and apparently you're going to be there, so we'll have to live with it. But
you're
it'll be good. So that's good, man. And you're bringing the Tyranids?
Yep, gonna bring those Tyranids. Yeah. My nice bumblebee, bright yellow Tyranids.
Last year at Adepticon, right? On stream.
On stream, yeah, it was a interesting situation. Yeah, so I played on the big Warhammer stream, and I was sitting there, and it was the first round. And I don't know if I've ever in person told you this full story. I'm I'm trying to set the table up because it's the first round, so they didn't have terrain down, the little terrain footprints and nothing. They're literally just in a stack in the middle of the table. It's 7:45 a.m. on the first day of Adepticon. So I'm out there like trying to measure this stuff, and I'm looking at the cheat sheet that's 12 in. It doesn't tell you where it goes; it tells you from. It's messed up. So the guy was like, "Oh, are these yours?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's asking me questions. Is this all GW stuff? Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Nope, it's all that." And he's like, I thought he said something about seeing it. I'm like, "Yeah, man, do whatever you got to." And he was like, "No. Do you want to play on stream?" And there's some other smaller streams that they set up there in like this corner. And I was like, "Oh, like one of those?" He's like, No, I'm sorry. He's like, "I'm with Games Workshop, and we're looking for people that want to play on the GW stream." And, we announce it live. I'm like, "Oh." And I kind of look at the guy I'm playing because he was in the same mode of like trying to set this up. And I was like, like, we kind of were like, "Yeah, sure." Yeah. So he has us like pick our stuff up, and we go. And I think I had messaged you in the Too Many Beards chat that I was, "Hey, guys, I got to put on the stream." And I went to grab the link, because then you post it in the Discord for JAC Games, and I appreciate, you spread it out, and I sent it to Nick and all this, and I just happened to look at the stream because I had to grab the link, and there was like 86,000 people watching this stream, and I should have won. I lost by 4 points.
Yeah, you blew it.
And I deployed bad. I should have won. It was an awesome game. It was really, really fun. I played Black Templars. The NIDs looked awesome on stream. And I got nervous. I saw 86,000 people about to watch me deploy. And I was playing a Monster Mash list, so I only had like 12 models to set on the board.
Like a good friend of ours often says, you lost on deployment. So that's... But no, that was really cool to see, man. And you put the time and effort in, and it's great to see that rewarded. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in person. So that's it. Nothing else going on. You're just touching those up.
I get that. I'll send some pictures if you want to post. I've done a Golden Demon entry the last 2 years at Adepticon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to place. I know that. Like, I'm not that great, but it gives me something that I want to put time into. Right. And then I'll look up videos and I'll watch, like, how do I feather this red a little better? And then when I go to do my army, I'm like, oh, I could do a really nice feathered cape way faster. So it's kind of like my own little thing. So I have what's it called? Imperialis, like the minis.
Titanic,
epic scale.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm doing a little epic scale diorama as well. I just got that assembled. I'm gonna do like a Death Watch kill team. Okay. So I've got like 5 little, a Terminator, a jump pack guy, a power sword guy, like kind of climbing down a mountain. So that's my 2 biggest things. Me and Nick are flushing out our Adepticon list for, that's next March, but trying to build a whole new army and all that. Right. We kind of came up with our theme and all that today. So now I'm kind of working on that list. So I'll have that on the table here soon. Nice. We're doing the cereal killers, but like the food cereal. So we're gonna do food theme. So I'm gonna dress up like Tony the Tiger. He's gonna dress up like Captain Crunch, and we're gonna do
Jeez.
We're gonna do Oops All Dreadnoughts, and we're gonna make like a cereal box that looks like Captain Crunch, and then it's our entire list is nothing but dreadnoughts. We have 1 non-dreadnought in the 2,000 point list. Yeah,
that's really cool, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's good. My hobby table is filled with Conquest and Warcrow. So I'm actually pretty proud of this. I've never in my life had an army that was fully painted. Like I am on the verge. I am down to my last unit of my city states. Once I get these guys painted up, and then I have the Talos. Once I'm done, I will have every model that I have will be painted. So I'm pretty jazzed about that.
I don't know if I've ever had that either. And if I have, it's because I bought a 5 model starter box.
Right. Yeah.
And for about a week before I bought my second box.
Right. So outside of like a small game like MCP or something, Infinity, like this is the first big scale game that I'll have everything painted, and it's a couple hundred, about 100, 150 models, whatever that is. So I'm pretty jazzed about that. That's
dude, that's super awesome. Yeah, I'm super proud of you for that.
Well, thank you. Because I've committed. I'm not going to play with unpainted models. I'm not going to play this game with unpainted models. I figure it's time to get everything painted. I got that going on. I'm making some. I got Josh and Tyler. I got some guys coming over this weekend for a gaming weekend. The wife's out of town, so we're gonna get wild and play games all weekend. So I'm putting together some Conquest objective markers. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so those will be fun. What else? Oh, I just picked up some the new Warcrow. I absolutely love this game. Coruvs Belli just makes absolutely beautiful models. So I just picked up. It's not going to work with it blurred out, but these new. Sorry. But the new elf models have come out and they're absolutely beautiful. So I just got those assembled and primed, and I'm going to work on painting those. But so I'm all over the place. Yeah, I got to have 6-7 projects going on, or else
I feel you. That's why I kind of cleared, because I know I have more coming.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have cleared unless I make a mind to like, all right, I got to get rid of stuff because I have 2 or 3 coming in.
Yeah.
I would add 12 on my table, and
right. Yeah, and it gets over.
So yeah,
there's time when there's too much. I'll sit down. I'm like, I don't even know where to start, and then I just sit there.
Exactly.
And I'll putz around on my phone, and then I'll go to bed. So it's good to have that focus. Well, good. So we're looking forward to seeing it at Brew Brawl with that painted army. That'll be really cool.
I'm ready.
So the last question is, what's your current gaming obsession? What are you actively loving? Like, what gets you proverbially? I'm a government teacher.
Not those two.
Let it go. Whatever. Who thought I could be as dumb as I look? What gets you out of bed to play games? That's what games are you excited about? Holy crap.
So my current active, the thing that I'm just like sitting here itching to do and play, is actually roll and write board games. I've been having a weird obsession. So for those that maybe don't do as many board games, it's where your board is normally a piece of paper of some sort.
Okay.
And you're actively with a pen or a pencil writing or modifying the board in front of you permanently to play this game. And they're often called roll and writes because a lot of times you'll roll some dice or you'll flip some tokens, and then based off those, you're doing stuff.
Okay.
So like one I'm really, really playing, it's called Welcome to the Neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So you have what looks like a 3-street neighborhood in front of you. Mm-hmm. And then there's 2 decks of cards, and you flip a card from each, and you have to select one of those 3 cards. Okay. And it has a house number, numbered 1 through 16. Okay? So I have to place that house on one of these 3 roads. I think it's 10 houses, 12 houses, 14 houses. I have to place. Let's say I chose number 8. Okay. So I want to shoot from the middle because my housing numbers, as housing numbers do, have to be sequential. So if I start putting, because you flip 3, sorry, I said 2, it's 3. So if I select too many numbers, small numbers early, and I kind of fill the left side of my board in, later in the game, I'm going to have to take skip turns because I don't have a place. A 2, a 3, and a 4 get flipped later because there's 3 of every number in the deck.
Sounds interesting.
So you're actively writing, but as you choose these numbers, you get an ability, such as you get to put a fence up. Houses with fences sell for more. Or you can get to put a pool in. And some houses have the pool, but if I put the number on the pool and the pool card's up, it's worth more points. So you're like growing your neighborhood, getting points, but you're actively writing on your card.
Cool. And then do you get multiple sheets if you want to play again, or is it?
Yeah, most come with like 50 to 100, and most places will sell a refill pack for $10. Yeah. What I do on a lot of them, this one particularly, I just took some into Staples and had them put that really nice thick lamination, and I just play with wet erase markers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then another one is called Dino Island Roar and Write. So it's a Jurassic Park knockoff. But as you roll your dice, you're getting resources, and you have to build. I have to build my T-Rex enclosure, and then I have to build my Raptor. So I'm like, on a grid paper, I'm having to draw and put my enclosures. You don't have to be fancy drawing. A T-Rex enclosure is a 4x4 square. A Raptor is a 2x2. You're just drawing boxes. But then let's say I have an incident and my Raptors get loose and kill a few people. I have to cross that Raptor off of my board and redirect my tour that I'm taking through my park now.
That's really good.
So I just think it's a really fun spin on board games because it's more than a board in front of me and I'm choosing preset stuff. There's a lot more critical thinking, I feel, and it's just it's been I got about 8 of them right now. That's awesome. That all fit in this roll and write scenario, and they're just super fun.
That's crazy. And I mean, again, it's the breadth of gaming. I've never heard of those.
Yeah. I'll bring one or two for the brawl, and if we got some time on Friday night or Saturday night, we'll play a couple.
The Friday night pizza party is kind of like open gaming, so we can hang out and do some cool.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll be there Friday, so
looking forward to it, man. Yeah. And,
what about you?
That's got me. I mean, I'm a miniatures gamer. That's really where I'll play board games and enjoy them, but I just generally don't have enough people to play board games with. So it's usually me and like one other person. So mini games are perfect for me. Conquest, in full disclosure, I'm a Vanguard, so I'm supposed to be promoting the game. I would promote it for free, but hey, do you want to do this? I'm like, absolutely. But I'm loving Conquest. It's your fault that I got into that.
I feel so bad because we've never played. I've never played either of you three, and you guys are so much deeper than I am now. Like I have 2 armies now, but I get like a game in every 6 months, and now you guys are traveling to Barnes for tournaments and.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we just throw your stuff in the car and hang out with us on Sunday and play. So I'm really liking Conquest as far as like a rank and flank game. It's just really, really well done. It's super clean, plays fast. The rules aren't confusing. Loving that. Warcrow. I've wanted to play Warcrow. I mean, geez, they were the first miniatures that Coruvs Belli made, even before Infinity. But just the idea of that game is really, really neat. It has some great mechanics in it with the initiative tracker and just really, really cool stuff. Just also started playing the dungeon crawl, the Warcrow Adventures dungeon crawl, which is really cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what I've gone to Gen Con the last couple of years has been to see both of those games, and finally got a group of people to play the adventures, and it's really cool. So I'm jamming on those. Other than that, that's really about it. Yeah, but I'm obsessed with Conquest right now. I can't play enough. I just accidentally got 2 more armies on the way, so I have a giant Spires army and some 100 Kingdoms. So.
I still have the big Spires model that I'll bring you. He's half assembled, but I'll bring it to you. It's yours. I'll bring it for the Brew Brawl, so don't buy it.
Okay, I'm not. Yeah, I won't fight you. I appreciate that. But no, so that's it. So and I think as gamers, it's good to talk about what we're obsessed with because the gamer ADD is real. Like there's people that are like, oh, no, I only play 40K. I'm like, why? Like how? Like that's insanity. But I've been known to bounce around way too much, where I'll play a game, discard it, move to something else, and so I'm trying to stick with it. Just a few, Trench Crusade's another one I would love to play. So we're starting to build up a little player base of people who want to get involved in that.
Awesome.
But yeah, man, it's a fun journey, man, and I'm excited. I'm excited you're coming down for Brew Brawl. We finally were able to get you to one. It's a bummer that Nick can't come to this one. I know he's got drill for guard and everything, but
well, yeah, I'm working on him, and I'll message you about that. So
okay, very good. So we'll wrap it up, and as always, folks, thanks for watching. We'll have links to websites, Discords. Come join the conversation with us. We'd love to hear what you think. You're welcome to call us morons. It's natural. We're used to it. But give a suggestion. What would you like to hear about? I mean, I know we're going to be doing some segments with you. You've got the background as a chef, so we're going to be shooting some stuff on what foods to bring to gaming night. I'm super excited about that. You inspired me. The guys are coming over this weekend. I made some pesto already. I'm going to do an arrabbiata sauce tomorrow. We're going to do some pasta. I know. I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. So we're going to do some beer reviews. Things of that nature. So everything that goes along with gaming and things that make gaming and gaming culture so cool, we're looking forward to. And so with that, I think we're going to go ahead and sign off. We'll go take a little break for our sponsors, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.